Ray Jackson, and tonight I'm going to be discussing the psychological aspects of a collegiate volleyball team. This is for Kin 454 at Cal Baptist University in Dr. G's class. So, my why. The reason why I chose to the topic of volleyball is because I actually got the opportunity to play collegiate volleyball. Straight out of high school, I got a full ride to a university in North Carolina, which I spent my freshman year there, and then I actually transferred home to a junior college. Um, my first junior college I went to was actually RCC, which I spent a year there. And then I ended up transferring and I went to City College, which is in San Diego. And then from there, I transferred back out to North Carolina and finished my collegiate volleyball career at Elizabeth City State University. And within that time, I actually got awarded and I got MVP my last 2 years, which was very exciting and accomplishing because I had a long journey in volleyball, so felt really good. Um, my love for the sport, I started playing volleyball in the seventh grade. My first sport was actually basketball, but I grew up with a professional athlete in my house, so it was kind of just a lot of pressure, and I kind of lost the love for it. So I switched over to volleyball, and I'm very happy with it. I'm thankful my mom put me in every sport, but volleyball was actually the one that I drew the most love for. I actually got to coach my last 2 years of college because my coach had a travel volleyball team and he needed coaches. So he actually offered me a job, which I coached the team, and I got to see the aspect of volleyball and a coaching aspect and a player's aspect. So I think just within that experience, I gained a lot of knowledge of like ball play and ball movement and just how to be successful on the court. Very thankful for it. So I want to discuss the environments dealing with the volleyball experience. So players are more likely, they're going to experience some anxiety, they're going to experience motivation, which leads into the desire to compete. And with competing, they want to receive feedback, so they can improve their performance. And in that, all that ties into they will also have positive reinforcements, and there's also some negative reinforcements, depending on um, the environment of the coach and what their style is. But it's been demonstrated through research that players who are connected by a positive oriented coach and they like their teammates better, they enjoy their athletic experience more, and they like their coaches more. It's been shown for those teams and those players to have better team cohesion, which is important because volleyball is, a number one team sport. Everyone has to be involved if you want to be successful. If everyone isn't involved, if there's like one person off the page of the five other players, that just messes up. In my experience, team chemistry is a must. Like you must have it or else you're not going to be successful. Like it doesn't matter if one player doesn't feel comfortable or isn't in tune with everyone else, it really messes up the whole flow of the game because volleyball is a heavily team sport and everyone needs to be included. Um, and with that, like I said, all the emotions come in, like anxiety, for example. Say it's game point, and you know that if you put the ball in the net or you hit it out, you guys lose, and that all that pressure is going to come on you. But if you get that ball over, you have, oh, okay, I have a chance of winning and advancing on to the next point. Um, and not all to get the ball over, you have that motivation. The motivation is the feeling of winning, the feeling of, oh, I got the ball over, I kept the ball in play. Like, it's just a rush that you get, and it's just like a great feeling to be a part of. Um, Athletes look for feedback so they can improve their performance. It's better, like I learned, to accepting constructive criticism is probably one of the hardest things an athlete has to go through because you're accepting the feedback. It's negative feedback, but you know that people are giving it to you because you need to improve. They want you to do better. So it's good to your coaches. Now I want to get into the culture of volleyball and just sports in general. When you grow up in a family culture where athletics is common in the household, you're more likely to succeed and just want to do great, opposed to coming from a family where sports isn't really looked at something to be happy about or praised about. It's just like an extracurricular activity, and your families are more work oriented. You won't be as focused on wanting to do better because all you're worried about is working, you know, from your family's experience. Also, the physical environment mentioned, as I mentioned, having an active family member that's going to motivate you to want to be active and stay in sports and, do the best that you can. Also, social environments. If you have a positive peer group, like if you have teammates that are motivated, they want to go to the gym for extra hours after practice to work on their skill, you're more likely to fall into that pool of wanting to be successful and putting in that extra work, opposed to if you're on a team craft, it's just like, oh, they only practice when they're at practice. You're not going to have a good experience as far as like knowing what it is to work hard and having a good role model. You deal with that in college with athletes and teammates. There's some teammates that love to party and some teammates that are more serious. And when there's that two group trying to mix and coexist together, that creates issues. So it's better to have everyone on the same page and making sure everyone's motivated. And you need that with leadership. And I believe that starts with the coach. Because if you have a poor coach, leadership from the coach, then the players are going to have poor leadership within themselves. And I experienced that in my college career, and that was just one thing that I wish I could have changed. But everything happens for a reason. Um, Next, I want to talk about goals. Two outcome goals, two performance goals, and two process goals. And from those goals, I'm gonna have strategies as far as like how a team can reach these goals. So, two outcome goals, I would say, short term goals would be a, a team would be like wanting to win a match in 3 sets instead of going all the way to five. That's something that they can focus on. And a way to do that is just by taking one point at a time, having a strategy, looking at the weakness in the opponent's defense, and just being aware of those small bits in the game. A long term goal would be, hey, we want to win the championship. We haven't won the championship in 5 years. So it'd be like for this season, their goal would be to win the championship. Um, for performance goals for a college volleyball team would be, say, their passing score. A perfect pass is like right where the setter is going to be, right in the middle, so they can set either position and not have to overextend their set, like either more outside, more in back row, but it's like perfect right in the front middle of the court. So our goal would be, say our passing score is 1.5, but we want to get a perfect passing score of 3. So our goal could say let's increase our passing score from 1.5 to 2.5. That would be a short-term goal for our passing percentage on the volleyball team. A long-term goal would be, um, let's say our hitting average is a 0.23, but we want to have a 0.3 hitting average because that's like nail on, you're getting your kills, you're getting the effectiveness that you need on the court. So our long-term goal would be to increase our hitting average to 0.30 and maintain the average throughout the end of the season. Our process goals are going to be that I want the team to pass the ball with intention and where to put the ball. So volleyball it's a very precise sport. You have to make sure that your passes are where they need to be, your hits are where they need to be. Like you have no room for error because the more errors you have, that's gonna bite you in the butt. Those are just points. So you need to limit your errors. So the short-term goal, like I mentioned, would be to pass the ball with intention and know where to put the ball. A long term goal for that would be to make sure that their balls are in the net 2 feet outside the playing area. So if it's too far outside the playing area, then you're not reaching your goal. So you want to make sure that your wrist snap is perfect and it's in the playing area and it's not going outside so that you're not losing points. The strategies that I have is to gain attention and where you want the ball to go during practice. Make sure that you are talking to yourself, guiding yourself, so that way you get in the routine of doing this from practice into the game. A long-term goal, I would say, is to make sure that that the playing area will be reinforced to do extra exercises. So say if you hit the ball outside of the playing area, then you're gonna have to do like push-ups or you're gonna have to do burpees. So I believe that the strategy for making sure that you guys are successful, there has to be a punishment in order to make sure that you limit your errors. My mission statement for life is trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not rely on your own insight. And I believe that you just have to put trust into God and believe that no matter what, like maybe you got a flat tire or maybe you got a bad grade on an assignment. Know that that you need those lessons in life to progress and do better. And I just believe that when you put your trust in the Lord, you have no room to worry. It's just negative energy that you're harboring over yourself for what? God is always there. God is always there to protect you, and God always answers. You just have to know and have trust and believe. What I learned, I would say that my biggest takeaway for this semester was imagery. Um, I only had one coach that ever talked about imagery with me, and I just wish I would have taken that more seriously. But, I'm thankful that I have the knowledge now and I can use it in the future, like even with my life, like just imagine just better things in general. Imagine the house I want, imagine the job I want, imagine the lifestyle I want, you know, and I will create it with my imagination. And I'm just thankful that I got to learn this information in this class and now I can apply it to my life and in the future. These are my references and thank you for watching.